You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Heart of Living podcast. This is episode number 336 of East Central's favorite podcast, Jeremiah Morrell, joined by executive video producer, audio engineer, youth coach, and dry guy, Zach Burcham.
I'm the boring guy tonight.
The rest of us are as sober as we will be for the rest of the evening. Jesse Riddle is in the co-host chair. First appearance for Jesse in 2024. You got it on the Leap Day edition. Yep. You've not missed a Boss.
This is the only leap year I'll ever be here.
You are 1-0 on Leap Day episodes. Dakota is 0-1, and that's what we have to remember.
That's what he's gonna commit to showing up to every Leap Day episode that we film on a Thursday.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna call me, Leap Dog, after all this.
Sean Rao is here making God, this is probably your 10th appearance in like 336 shows.
Well,
Sean.
my first in 2024.
Yes.
Also,
yes. Yeah. Do you want us to consider you a co-host? Because I will put Dakota to work and make him put you on the website.
I think he's been on enough.
Put that on there.
You are?
Put that on there.
We're gonna.
Sean's probably been on there as much as I have.
A senior legal correspondent.
Yes. Yes. Liberty defender.
Legal quasi expert.
Fellow Buffalo Wild Wing connoisseur with us.
I love B-dubs. I'm just glad we're not talking about abortion or Donald Trump or anything else.
Oh, you said it.
Just going forward.
Now we have to throw the notes out and go there.
Now we got to go to the Supreme Court. No,
it's not happening.
This is going to be a fun one.
As opposed to the other 335 we've done previously.
Very somber.
Absolute trash.
Very somber, but important information.
We talked at B-Dubs. We were talking about changing the entire program for the show moving forward.
We're talking about the Electoral College. And
you rewrote my program for me.
Yeah.
Our main guest tonight is going to be Mark Lasbury. He's the managing partner and editor of Indiana on Tap, and we're gonna get to know him a little bit. That's he's going to be a very popular man because there's a gigantic party coming.
I brought beer.
There's a gigantic party, and he brought the party a couple weeks early. Let's see. This show's about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you, other times we'll make you laugh, but hopefully you'll always learn something new. Our guest from episode 335 is watching in the front row. Devin Guppy has come back. He missed it so much. He's hanging out with us. So we'll see if Devin wanders up and participates in the show at some point later on or not. If he does, cool. If not, that's fine too. Right now, I think he's just tick-tocking over in the corner. Christy Avery, we say thank you so much for your support of the show over the years. If you folks give $50 or more a month, you end up with a little thank you at the top of the show. Christy Avery, Fort Wayne, Indiana, the Norwex dealer to the stars. John Phillips, Andy Moore Buick GMC, up in Fishers, and John Phillips for County Council. Anthony Meyer of A Different Breed Trucking, and our new friends over at Sports Corner Varsity Outfitters, Blake Reese. He was actually the main guest last week, and they joined us, and we're looking forward to a relationship with them. I think I'm going to get some custom Boss Hog logos put on some shirts. He can do some embroidery over there. Jesse,
I was thinking about getting this hoodie like this embroidered with my company logo.
Exactly. Well, he can do it. If you've got the not the JPEG or the GIF, but the old PNG. You got the PNG. He can make it look real. Nice.
Probably anything that supports transparency.
I don't know what that means.
It's fine. You don't need to. He does.
Yeah. See, as long as it has the vectors Victor, we're good.
SVGs probably would work.
He could kill any show, Sean. I swear to God,
it's his special mind.
It's his special talent.
He has a beautiful mind.
I love it so much that it's just
the perfect. It's just I do it on purpose. That's the best part.
Instant, just conversation death.
And he's your co-host,
and he's
first time. I'm tied with Mark,
and you beg him to be on the show all the time.
I think it's good for the audience. to hear me struggle.
We've
with the
lost
man.
4 viewers since I started talking.
I wish that there was a way that we could show the conversations where he tries to get Jesse to come on, and Jesse firmly and almost always with some level of rudeness just starts telling him no in just every way possible.
Hey, I show up sometimes.
Free beer tonight. All right, let's
Got me here.
Let's get to know Mark Lasbury. Tell us about the On Tap program, I guess, and the big party that's coming up here just a few blocks away from the studio.
Yeah, we contract with the city, Main Street, Newcastle Main Street, to bring in what we call Newcastle On Tap St. Patty's Day. This year it's on March 16th, the day before the real party. And so we bring in breweries, wineries, distilleries to do unlimited samples, along with, and it's important to us that we bring in a lot of local small businesses, local artists, artisans, and local sponsors to make sure that this is a community event. So we've got food trucks. We've got Celtic Motion is coming from Indianapolis to do Irish step dance.
They're going to do 2 big performances.
Yes, 2 and 4. So and my wife dances with them. So this is her not coming out party, but it's her return to the recital stage. And then we've got a DJ, DJ 3 p.m., Andrew Bell, who mashes up better than anyone we know. So he'll have a bunch of Irish rock punk mashups to play at the event.
It's awesome.
We did last year. We did the Dirty Tweeds, which is an Irish punk band out of Indianapolis, and I'm happy to say that we pretty much discovered that band, and now they're priced out of our range.
That's spectacular.
Yeah. So we've got DJ 3 p.m. this year, and Celtic Motion will be doing dances to mostly traditional music, not to mashups. So, but yeah, I'd say that this year we've got between 36 and 40 booths. So it's an increase over last year. And I'd 26, I would think right now. It may change before we get there. We may add 1 or 2. I just added a nice home brewer from way up in northern Indiana, but I think we're at 26 alcohol vendors now. Nice.
So if folks want to, and we're going to get all the business out of the way before things might potentially get sloppy on the back end, and then we'll probably just tell the same story 3 or 4 times along as we go. If folks want tickets,
NewcastleOnTap.com.
All right. So they go to NewcastleOnTap.com. There's a price break now before you get there.
Right. Day of tickets are,
I think they're $50.
Yeah, they're substantially more. You want to get your tickets early. I'm thinking we've already missed early bird pricing for future events. If you buy them more than a month before the event, you do get a price break on that.
And then there's a DD ticket as well.
We sell DDs on the day of the event.
Yep.
So don't worry about the fact that you can't buy a DD ticket online. You can buy them at the gate.
And they're $20.
Yeah.
And you can still come in, enjoy the music, enjoy the food trucks and the whole party.
Well, and we have, the press is going to be there doing coffee samples and selling coffee, and you can, DDs can do the coffee. We have a tea company called Rare Brew that's coming in that does hopped teas, and they'll be doing sampling. So those DDs can have those as well. So yeah, there's more to do if you're a DD than just listen to the music and watch the band and buy some food.
And
where's hop tea from?
Rare Brew is out of Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never even heard of it.
The people watching, especially after hour 2 or 3,
right,
is top shelf.
Yes.
I was one of the people last year.
It increases logarithmic. Yeah. There's a lot more dancing that happens in the 3rd and 4th hours. Mm-hmm. And people don't worry so much about civility.
There was a food truck last year. I don't know what food trucks you have coming, but there was a Cajun food truck.
They're coming back.
That I hit multiple times over a 4-hour period.
Yeah, the fried alligator.
Yeah.
It's called the Big Easy.
Yep.
It's out of sort of the Anderson-Muncie area. And yeah, I try to have them at as many of our events as we can, because it's something you can't get very often. Along with them this year, we've got Celtic Pretzel that does some amazing soft pretzels and soft pretzel sandwiches, and it'd be great. It's really set for the Irish kind of holiday.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get started on. I don't know what journey you want to take us down, but you have brought 4 different beers that are all representative of folks that are going to be. I don't know if these particular beers will be there, but all of these breweries are scheduled and meant to be
right
at the Newcastle on Tap.
Right. So the first one, I did bring a couple of beers. I brought a cider and a ready to drink cocktail because it's indicative of the fact that we've got a lot more that goes on than just beer. In fact, the spirits, I brought a ready to drink cocktail, but the spirits at our festivals have just exploded in the last couple of years. There'll be 12 different bourbons
that's awesome.
at this festival.
And that's so as my drinking has evolved over time, I've moved much more to the spirit side myself with the rums and bourbons.
You'd think you were 25. That's what's happening with the younger generation.
I think a lot of the market has gone that way, right?
Yeah, spirits are definitely outselling beer right now.
So this first one is from Ash and Elm Cider Company out of Indianapolis. Early or late last year, they were named in the USA Today Top 10, the number 2 cidery in the country. They have amazing food at their cidery, but they do tons of different kinds of ciders. I'm a big fan of their cider of the month, where they get a little crazy on what they may shove into a cider. This is one of their more classic examples. This is the dry. And I thought it'd be good to start with because it's a little lighter and it doesn't have a lot of sugar left over. Dry just means that most of the sugar has been fermented out of it. And yeah, it's one of their staples.
Oh, the
smells.
The
amazing.
nose is awesome.
Yeah.
Zach, if you want to taste or smell anything, I can
alcohol.
I would love your opinion on each of these.
No,
this one does not smell like alcohol.
I'm living life over here drinking a 7-Up Zero. Like this is even like
that's a little too much for you, huh?
Yeah. Now that's a little sneaky. I mean, you
what is the alcohol by volume on this?
6.5%.
Yeah, so a beer is roughly 5 generally. Well,
A Budweiser's 5.
Yeah,
a mega beer,
a standard mainline generic, 48 pack of Busch lattes.
For the 4 or 5 of the beers I had last Saturday were 14% or higher. Yeah.
Let's say, a regular Budweiser's 5, a Busch latte is 4.2.
Yeah.
That's fantastic because it's refreshing at the beginning and then you get that dry back end where it kind of.
Yeah, it doesn't stick to your tongue.
No,
it's not cloyingly sweet, but it's sweet.
Yes.
So you get
all that sweetness in the front.
Yeah, and it will take us into the other things that are going to stay on your tongue a little bit longer.
Oh, that's delightful.
There's not a bad thing to say about it.
They do.
It's not fruity. It's very much just a generic an apple cider, a generic cider.
Right.
But it's not overly powered.
Use the word generic, but yes,
not generic, but plain. Like it's not.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's
overly,
a straight cider.
Yeah,
but it's bright. You can read a newspaper through it. It's everything that it ought to be. They are extremely well-made products.
So how much distribution do these folks have? Are they Indiana only? Or are they?
Oh no,
they're all over the world.
Well, no, I'd say they're probably in, and I'm guessing now, in the range of 15 states. But they have good distribution, so they cover the state pretty hard. There's not many places that you'll go that you can't find Ash and Elm in the state. Yet, unfortunately, to my mind, not enough people know about them. Downtown, they're on East Washington. Got a great rooftop lounge. Where they hold some events, and they have a really nice Autumn Tidings festival that they hold each year.
Yeah.
Autumn Tidings is one of their most popular ciders, but it's a very, very seasonal. You can only get it for a little bit in September.
I've seen them on a lot more lists as far as beers and then alternatives to beers. So this is, and they're all the higher end places I've been.
Yeah.
They have, it's more of a, a higher end potential, beverage, but it's so approachable and it's so fresh and clean and everything else. It's just,
and it's great that you can still get an Indiana product.
Yes.
They're one of the few, McClure's Orchard. They do a fair amount of canning. Mm-hmm. So you'll find some nice places that have McClure's ciders on. But other than that, if you want an Indiana made cider,
this is it.
Yeah, this is the good stuff. I mean, if you want it in a can someplace.
Some of the more nationally available ciders are sweeter. They're much sweeter than this, and this doesn't kick you in the teeth with sugar like some of those.
Not a lot of people do dries.
Yeah,
because most often what people are looking for is that cloying sweetness.
Sugar bomb.
Yeah, Blake's out of Michigan. They do a lot of, and they do some interesting stuff. But Ace ciders, I would much prefer drinking an Ash and Elm than I would an Ace. Yeah. Although Blake's, you have to give them their due. They do make some really nice.
I'd say they definitely have good ciders.
Yeah,
for sure. McClure's has really good ciders too.
Mm-hmm.
But they have the same thing. They have they have some sweet ones, but they also have some really fun ones. Like, especially if you go to their tap room, which I don't know if they still have it up at the Orchard or not, but
yes, they do.
It's like they have the jalapeno, and then they do a atomic red hot cider that's really, really good.
They were selling a lot at the same people owned a brewery in Peru, but they're closing that one, so it'll go back to being mostly at the one on Thursday.
Yeah, I knew. I was like, I didn't know if they had the tap room still at the Orchard or not. So
there was an era where Jesse was going to start a cidery. Do you still have an apple press? Are you ready to go?
I never owned an apple press. I still in my mom's garage have a unopened apple crusher from Italy.
Ready to go. You are halfway to your own production facility.
It just got brought up not that long ago, but yeah. Well,
was it your mother saying, "Get this the hell out of my garage, please"?
Yeah. Even though it's like 3, maybe 9 cubic feet, she's very pissed off all the time. And then my partner unfortunately passed away, but not like romantic partner, but
your business partner,
who had the same aspirations, has passed away recently. So, that's probably never going to happen, but it was, that was right before the cider craze took off, and then it kind of fizzled out. But we did get the Cider Act out of it.
It's coming back.
I was going to say, Jesse, what's
going to build?
What's your next craze that you're going to make happen? Because you were all over cider, you were all over surge pricing for fast food. What's the next craze?
I don't know if it's a craze. If I had like unlimited income, I would open up a tenderloin spot like you have burger restaurants.
The Indiana pork tenderloins.
Yeah, but like they're different styles.
All right.
But I don't know if there's a craze, but I was going to say, this one's really good. Like some of the Ash and Elms, like they do tend to, I don't want to say tend, they do also cater to people who do want a little bit more sweetness. This one's definitely a little bit more dry.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Fleeting Youth.
Yep.
That's really like
their fruited ciders aren't straight apple.
And so do they have one drier than this? Because I feel like they did.
Yeah, but they don't make it all the time.
And I think that's the one I really like, because I really love a dry cider. Like it's one of my favorite things in mass production ciders. I really, really like, which people can hate me for this, but or just standard original sin is like a really, especially if it's carbonated well, is a really good cider. It was. So Blackacre used to have Original Sin on tap, and it was, you could hardly ever get it where it was like
Sean, I would cut a deal with you.
But it was really good.
If you and I share a can of whatever's next, you can keep the other can and take it home.
That sounds good to me.
All right.
Yeah. Well, sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, we probably should have opened all of these.
I'm sitting here doing the math going, this is going to be horrific.
Yeah. You don't want to do this.
Tomorrow is a Friday, and I have work to do.
I'm not drinking them all either.
No,
never.
I'm trying to save some of the waste.
In my youth, not finishing a beer was a sin.
Do you remember?
No.
Original, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the name of the drier one by chance?
Have to look
me
it
neither.
up. Yeah.
So I went to a breakfast so those who have been to Ashen Elm a long time ago, when he's talking about they have like this, what did you call it? Like a balcony or whatever?
Yeah, that's in their new place. They moved.
Yeah, they moved. I just wanted
year and a half ago.
Yeah, so the people who've been there a long time ago and haven't been there lately, they have moved a little bit further east, I believe, right?
Yeah, closer to downtown.
Oh, so it's further. Okay, so it's further west.
They're almost at I-70 now, near the old Angelus campus. It looks like.
Okay,
I don't know if you guys knew where Indiana City Brewing was.
Yeah.
You can hit it with a rock from where the old
okay. So they're kind of across the street from there then. Okay. So Futuro and stuff is like right next to them. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and fantastic kitchen.
While Mark is finding the next round of drinks here, I will say that Ink and Ale is going to be there as well, which is this time a year ago we were getting ready to have the Blue River Tap House. They had been announced but hadn't been open yet.
Yeah.
And they brought some product there.
And can I say something about that? Because like that was my first time meeting those people, and it was fantastic to meet them, talk to them, and just kind of get to know them a little bit before. And now they're just killing it downtown.
True.
I mean, they just really
beer
are
family.
Fantastic people.
Yeah. Mike is a Chambray. So he and his dad and his brother started Craft Roads distributing. Their sister, Mike's sister, Amanda, is the owner of Sun King Kokomo.
Pull that mic in just a little closer to you.
Yeah, I learned that when they have the small batch over there in their tap house. They had the small batch Sun King Kokomo stuff. And I was like, that was crazy because they must be crazy small.
Actually, it's a 5 barrel system.
They're supported by the Sun King system, so they can stay in business and they don't have to worry about like things that you would as a small brewery because they got the backing of the mothership.
About half the taps will be Sun King Indianapolis beer, and half the taps will be Sun King Kokomo beer.
Yeah.
They also do the same thing at Sun King Fishers. They have a small batch. Jake Goodnight is the brewer there. And I pretty much always suggest drinking the small batch beers.
Yes. Yeah.
Unfortunately, JD Alvarado, who was at Sun King Kokomo, isn't there now. So I don't know the name of the person. I just learned today that they've got a new head brewer, and I'll be happy to go up and drink a whole mess of his beers and see what's up. Yeah.
So the next one you brought is very local to us. It's Wooden Bear over in Greenfield.
Yeah.
Just a little bit further east on Washington Street than the last spot was. On US 40.
About 15 miles. Yeah. 20 miles.
And this is the Cougar Town Brown.
Yeah. It's an American brown ale. Maybe a bit hoppier than what you'd think for like an English brown, especially like a nut brown. But they have been around for quite a while now. I think they're coming up on their 9th year. And they went through a couple of brewers early. Nick Banks was great. He's killing stuff now for Quaffon. Then they went through a couple, and then they found Jared Hamilton. And I'm a big fan of Jared Hamilton beers. They don't do anything wild. It's not like they're never met something they didn't want to throw in a beer. And there are those breweries out there. But they make solid beer that has enough style differences that you can always walk in and find something. Our daughter now lives in Greenfield, so we're probably at Wooden Bear once every 2 or 3 weeks, and there's always at least one beer that I haven't had.
So they got a big tap list. I go there about twice a week. So
yeah.
I'm there a lot. I was there last night. So, but yeah,
Wooden Bear is it's a place. It's probably one of the first breweries that Jesse took me to. Was hanging out down there, and it's been exciting seeing them change and evolve over the years.
Yeah,
and watching how they've adapted with the different food delivery options, how the beer list has changed over the years.
The model that they have now with the Greek's pizza in there,
it's killing.
Is a very popular model as of as of COVID. The phrase is, I opened a brewery because I didn't want to open a restaurant. And there are few brewers who really want to mess with the hassle of making food or even ordering food but
they have a space large enough where they can find an independent restaurant to sit in there and compliment each other. Food
partners are the way to go now. They offer you a freedom and an option that it never happened pre-COVID. So yeah, they do food in there. We were there last Wednesday or Thursday when they were having music bingo night. And
Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, you could not find a seat in that place.
That's what I was telling them at dinner. I was like, it's crazy how that thing's huge. Like,
it's
massive,
a big place,
and they fill it to the gills.
Yeah.
Throughout the week. Like Tuesdays are kind of, I wouldn't say they're slow by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. That is one of the slower days they have.
So this is definitely a hop. We haven't had another beer, but it's a little on the hoppier side than a normal Pilsner would be.
It's going to have a bit more bite,
but it's a dark, full beer. And that's generally, I'm more of a porter and a stout guy. Generally, is what I'm going to. But this is your brown ale,
but it's still clean. It doesn't sit down on your tongue.
Yep.
It's got
doesn't cause a wild head shake.
Yeah. It's got some body, but it's not a knife and fork beer. You don't have to,
all of their beers are always just that nice, clean version of whatever it is, because I'm a big West Coast IPA guy. I'm not a big like hazy guy. So for me, like when I go to Wooden Bear hoppy beer, like their IPAs are tend to be more on the West Coast side. They do make hazies, but
But Dancing Bears right now is
Dancing Bears is still really good. We talked about that.
We did talk about that.
We talked about Dancing Bears too.
Yeah. By the way, we did not just for the audience to know, we did not plan on, hey, we're going to have this giant dinner ahead of time. Jesse hit me up this afternoon and he's like, "You want to get dinner?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Yeah. And then here comes Sean walking in the door. I'm like, "Well, you may as well sit down here, buddy."
I got a haircut, a car wash. I was like, "What else am I going to do here? I'll just
do the Midwest American treat.
Just have a little treat.
Just knock out dinner real quick."
No, I love that location there. I love their combination with Greek's Pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, we travel from Newcastle over there on purposely to see them once every 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And I can get carry out cans. I can get carry out growlers. I can do all that. And it is just exactly the type of beer that I like as a West Coast IPA, clean, like IPA, like traditional IPA.
And the people are solid. Danielle.
I said Danielle's great.
Danielle,
Nina's
Nina,
great. Yeah, perfect.
Jay.
Yeah. They have a lot of cool artwork too for sale.
Interesting enough.
Co-host Mark is over there.
We have someone who's coming in to sell string art at Newcastle on Tap, who I met through Wooden Bear. Yeah. String art by Alyssa.
They do the college stuff too.
They do all kinds of that.
I bought an Indiana thing that was super cool.
Yeah, so it'd been the one that was on the wall by the
Script
restaurants.
Indiana.
Yeah. I actually commissioned a string art piece of our logo, the Indiana on Tap logo, from her. So it looks
awesome.
Great.
So for those that weren't paying attention earlier, all of these breweries are going to be bringing their product in to Newcastle on Tap, and it's unlimited pours.
Unlimited samples.
Until they run. Nobody's filling any kegs, but they're going to have samples of everything. So it's not like you don't have to be shy.
No.
When you come in, you try this stuff.
Yeah. And there's no reason to not try something.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a beer, not a life choice.
Yep.
So if you don't like it, pour it out, move on. You cost yourself nothing. So, you should be trying things that you haven't had before and don't think you would like.
It's like going to the RV or boat show. Go in and sample and look around and try it. Nobody's asking to buy anything. You've already paid.
Yeah.
And they're there for the promotion and to meet with you.
Not as many of the breweries, but certainly the wineries and distilleries will be selling packaged product as well as merchandise. So bring your cash. You're going to get that t-shirt from the one brewery that you love the most. You can take home a 4-pack of the ready to drink cocktails from High and Mighty or one of the other places. I almost always end up taking a bottle of bourbon home. We're not having Moondrops is there this year. The Moondrops 5-year bourbon is an amazing product.
They were there last year, right?
They were.
Yeah.
But last year I bought the Four Fingers peated bourbon.
They were nice.
Yeah.
That was very nice, very warming
Yeah.
on a cold day.
Yeah, they're opening up their Lebanon production distillery and restaurant tasting room very soon. Well, tomorrow night. So yeah, they're messing around with that. So they couldn't make it back again this year.
And where are they based out of?
The original is in Indianapolis.
Okay.
But the new place, big place, is in Lebanon, right on Courthouse Square.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was one of the, I'm not a beer guy. I'm not a big spirits guy, but that was one that really stood out last year.
And that's the great thing about the festival.
I was going to say,
you don't think you're a spirits guy, but you can still find something
because you find something that stands out and is quality. And
I was going to say, if you're an IPA guy, it makes sense that you might be a peat guy. So
yeah, it's
because I have drank many like strong peats, peat monster, all that ridiculous stuff, and I'm like, I've never acquired the taste for it. It's not that I don't like it. I'm just like, how do people drink a lot of it? But IPAs grew on me. I've tried to get peat. Again, my friend Rob that passed away, he was always trying to get me to try peat stuff. And we'd sit and watch whatever, Last of Us and drink peat. Whatever. And it was.
So how many events? This obviously this is the St. Patrick's event, really marquee, and it's tailored towards that.
Yeah.
But how many of these on tap events are on the calendar throughout Indiana throughout the year?
Well, we actually have two models. We have the events that we organize and manage ourselves. And then we have a group of events that we consult with that are owned by, well, we don't own any of our events, but are owned and have a point person. And then we do their ticketing. We do their invites, their vendor invites, their vendor communications. We show them how to lay out the festival. We show them our preferred, vendors for infrastructure things. So I'd say we have usually somewhere in the range of 9 to 11 events of our own each year. And then between 10 and 16, 18 events that we consult on. The good thing about that is that we're not required to be there the day of the event, so it frees up our schedule a little.
I was looking at the calendar, just going, you may not have a whole lot of free weekends to do anything.
No,
if you've got these consistently throughout the year.
Yeah, we did 2 weekends ago was Frigid Digits Winter Beer Fest at Center Point in Indianapolis. We sold 1,200 tickets, and then with vendors and volunteers and staff and freebies, and we had over 1,500 people there in Center Point's parking lot.
Wow, it's not a very big party.
Yeah. And then well, it kept everybody warm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Frigid Digits no more.
Yeah. Last weekend was Michigan City Shelf Ice Brew Fest, another outdoor brew fest, and
just nice to be up on the lake in February.
Yeah. 2,500 people all told there at Shelf Ice. For that one, I do the invites and the vendor communications, but then we also run the front gate for them on the day of. So, they will do whatever they ask us to do. So
what is, and this is my own selfish question, what is Indiana on Tap's like mission?
We support Indiana craft beer, wine, and spirits. If you are a craft beverage producer in Indiana, we want you to thrive. So we do that by organizing these festivals. Now, it's true that we're doing this for the city. We're doing this for the beer drinker, but this is a great way for increased brand recognition.
It's good for everybody involved.
It's great for everybody. More people that know of these places, the more will visit these places.
This has become, I know this being the third year, I missed the first one. I had a conflict, but last year was a spectacular time. This is the third annual for Newcastle, and it's become a great, we are we are so close to springtime you can taste it. And this is becoming the, hey, spring is here. Whether it's 24 degrees outside or 71 degrees outside, we're going to pretend it's springtime and we're going to be Hoosiers and enjoy ourselves outside.
People care about the weather for about the first 30 minutes, and then after that they're lubed up enough that they've got, they're happy about.
So it's I can tell you for our downtown, and I guess as a business owner that's downtown, it's a big deal. So we have the Christmas walk, which is in early December, and it's kind of the two main anchor events that we have in the winter time and into the spring. And then until you get into Memorial Day and the gigantic Jack's donut eating contest.
Yeah.
These are the big events for downtown.
Those cars, big car show, right?
Yeah.
Most of the events that all but one of the events that we organize and manage are actually owned by municipalities. So we do this in Lebanon. In Columbus will be our first year this year in Columbus. That one should be very big.
Rushville, you guys do Rushville, the Libations on the Levee down there?
Libations by the Levee, Anderson on tap, Tippin on tap. So yeah, there's several of them that we do that way. And I tell you, the majority of them, the city wants to show off their city, B, give their residents something that they want, but C, recruiting a brewery, winery, distillery to the city.
And like a tap room would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we did the first year, we did this, and then Blue River came in.
Yep.
Did the second year, and now we've got Ink and Ale Brew House. In Rushville, we did the first year, and then
Fish Moon.
We got Fish Moon. Tipton, we did the first year, and we got Clues Brews. All of these are just magnets to show a craft producer that the city is ready for it.
Yep. So what do we have? What do we have next, Mark?
Yeah. So we're going to go back a little bit lighter again. Now, this is sweet. This is from High and Mighty. It's a distillery out of Indianapolis. They're actually located on the state fairgrounds.
So just beware. This is 7%.
Yeah.
Because he said it was a mixed cocktail. So I'm like, how strong is this?
Yeah. So they do things. They do a couple of really nice gins, and they will bring those gins on to the event.
In case you want it to feel like Christmas time in March.
Yeah.
I am a big gin fan. So
yes, they've got a floral gin.
I've never heard of this.
Gin.
They're in Indy? Where in Indy?
State Fairgrounds.
They're right in the state fairgrounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're going to open up their tasting room probably in the next year.
Zach, I need you to come by and smell this and tell me what it smells like.
It's going to smell like alcohol.
I want you to come by and smell it for me.
That's the fun thing. When you don't drink, everything smells like alcohol. It's like cigarettes smell like cigarettes when you smoke.
So they do
Or would you don't smoke?
4 ready to drink cocktails. This is the apple cider version. Yeah. They do, because they're at the state fairgrounds, they do a
Is there more left in that can?
lemon shake up.
Yeah. I didn't have any set. Yeah,
he's getting the cinnamon note. I just wanted to make sure, because every time Zach is never he's dry Zach. He's 42 years old and he's still happily hanging on.
Cinnamon smells good.
41.
Is fantastic.
You look 42, as Guthrie would say.
As if it's sweet with cinnamon, that makes sense. Sorry, I know I'm talking over you, but
it's okay.
We're also not you. I'm talking over Jared.
What the hell am I?
It's okay
the host?
if you talk over him too.
Yeah, but we're talking about the beers, all right? So people can hear it. Listen.
Oh my God,
this really smells really good.
That is like drinking a pure cinnamon stick.
Yeah,
that's dangerous.
So they do.
That's so tasty.
Being on the state fairgrounds, they do a lemon shake up. You like having the lemonade at the state fair?
Yeah.
That is their best seller. This happens to be my personal favorite.
This is really trouble.
They do a cherry one, and then they do a.
So is this cherry?
It's made with brandy.
And it's just apple.
Yeah,
the apple and cinnamon.
It's made with brandy. Okay.
Yeah.
Holy cow,
that's good.
I really do hope they bring this, because this is going to be quite popular.
I would do this on ice.
Buy it.
Yeah, mine.
One in, and we are a mess already.
Buy your.
It wasn't me.
Buy your 4-pack early, because they will sell out.
of this.
Carry on without me, Zach.
Yeah.
What about the cherry and the
Do we have
lemon
towels somewhere I
shake?
can get you some towels?
They usually bring all three, and they also do a. I believe it's an old fashioned.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
Yeah, so they have all of those in cans.
Okay,
and because they don't have a tasting room yet, everything's going to be packaged. So yeah, but you can get these guys at pretty much most of the Total Wines now. They're producing a lot of product.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, they have Jamie and Dan Farner. It's just a husband and wife team, and they do quite a few events because this is their one mechanism for connecting with the public. So yeah, if you come to an Indiana on Tap event, it's likely that High and Mighty will be there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
This is kind of reminds me, and it definitely reminds me now because you said they do a old fashioned. Did you ever go to Blackacre's Barrels of Mana?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember when Abita was there and they had an old fashioned bourbon beer? That thing was so delicious.
Yeah, but sneaky.
And wow, yeah. I don't remember much of that evening, but that they had this amazing old fashioned beer, and I still have never made it. They don't ship it up here.
No.
I don't know how to get a hold of it. I need to find somebody that lives down south. But the thing was so good.
Yeah, no, Barrels on Bona. That went away
2019, 28. Yeah. It was way too early.
Yeah.
But people would also just get obliterated. Yeah. So, because you have 10%, 12% alcohol beers and all you can drink. So
those guys at Blackacre, they were a year ahead of me in law school. So I was aware of who they were, but we weren't friends or anything, but
so you got the name.
It was just wild. Oh yeah. Blackacre is like it's like the
templated term or whatever
of a piece of property.
Yeah. It's a placeholder.
Yeah, it's just a placeholder date for a piece of property. And
I've got a
but it's
a
like
database
it's a fantastic name for a brewery.
Yeah. I got a database of all the stories behind all the brewery names.
Okay.
Some of them
that's amazing.
Some of them are plain as hell, and some of them are just very nuanced.
So my tragedy here is that I knocked over the beautiful cinnamon apple cocktail. We'll get another one.
Cans, so
I just want to defend myself and say that it's not my fault. We got these little tiny sample glasses so that we could share.
These are from Lisa, right?
They are, yes.
I remember having these.
So
mine went.
We used them, and then I set them down, and I put it down in the other side of the microphone where it was out of my field of vision. And then I went to move one of the 72 bottles and glasses that are on the table and knocked it over.
Yeah. So, you know who tries to explain why they spilt something? The wrong person.
It is not my fault.
When you're sober, you're just
nowhere in that did you hear loss of gross motor function.
Yeah. Secondly, I didn't have anything to drink with dinner. I've had about 6 ounces of alcohol so far to start the evening.
Neither did me or Sean.
Yeah, you can't say that about anybody at this table. Oh, wait. You can.
Yeah, I was there. I'm a witness.
Not all of it. No. We were doing shots afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm glad I cashed out early.
We did 13 shots.
We did Jägermeister bombs. It was just
in the 6 minutes after you left, me and Sean did 16 shots.
You had a $3,200 bar tab in 7 minutes.
Reasonable.
All right. I have cleaned up my tragic mess that I caused.
Well, we can try to give you another mess.
Perfect.
Excellent. Excellent.
We actually have a fairly bigger beer now. This is Pax Verum out of LaPel, Indiana.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was
very, very local to us.
Yeah, and
just around the corner.
This is a brewery that they serve a decent amount at Blue River, and so when I get beer for Blue River to drink to pour at the event, they ask for Pax. So this is a Czech dark lager. Basically, it's going to be crisp and clean, but it's going to look like a porter or a stout.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's going to have a slight bit of roast to it, but roast is not what the beer's about. It's going to be dark enough that you have a hard time seeing through it, but if you could, it would be just clear as day.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the light through it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super dark lager.
Yeah. This is a Colt Carpenter beer. Colt does most of the brewing now for PAX. Well, he does pretty much all the brewing now for PAX, and they're expanding rapidly. Think they're gonna run out of room to put more fermenters in that place.
And they have food now too.
Yeah,
King Dough.
Yeah, right next door.
What's their food situation?
It's King Dough King Dough used to come. It was in Bloomington.
Mm-hmm.
King Dough opened up a spot, kind of near downtown, or what they call it, near east side. And then they end up closing the Bloomington location, but they are partnered with partnered with PAX, and they've got an entire facility. So, like, have you been up to?
I've not been to PAX since that happened.
Okay, yeah. So you know where like their little patio was, right?
Yeah.
So right there next to the alley, they built a brand new building. It's a small building, but they do the pizza out of it.
Okay, cool.
So they do PAX. PAX does their own festival. We do ticketing and a little bit of consulting on that one. It's called Way Out Beer Festival.
Yeah,
and that's the one where that's because Lapel's kind of way out there,
literally.
But it's a double entendre because that's the festival where you're supposed to bring your weirdest beer.
Yeah. I think Wooden Bear won that one, actually.
Yes, they won for a single beer for the brewery. It's almost always Tarnished Hollow.
Oh yeah,
that wins that.
I'm being told that by text message that one of my friends who's watching got married at Pax Verum. So it's also a wedding venue.
Wow,
it's also a wedding.
You have
venue.
an online, ministry.
That's true. That's true.
If you're trying to get married in a hurry, please call Jeremiah.
If you have an emergency wedding, give me a call. I did one this afternoon.
Don't call 911.
Was it legal? Was the shotgun loaded?
It's loaded. I don't feel like nobody was holding a shotgun at me, so I feel like it was fine.
Can you? That's from 2021, so you wouldn't see the pizza place. It literally just came in like last year because Hannah and I went either the end of 2022 or the beginning of 2023.
So you've got a list of what all of these names mean. What does Pax Verum mean? What is their naming?
Peace and truth.
Peace and truth.
Yeah, Pax Verum. Peace and truth.
So do we need to know Latin for this?
Latin, as a lawyer should know.
Listen, I didn't go to law school.
No, I did.
As an ordained minister, you should
I accidentally knew that.
I accidentally went to law school.
I purposely went to law school.
Sean wanted to go for drinking, and they said, "Oh, you get to stay in college longer if you become a lawyer."
I stayed in philosophy if it was for drinking.
That's funny.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool spot.
Awesome.
So that building. So you see, they're building it in here. So they were building in 2021, but it's
2022. The Google Street View.
Yeah, show that to Sean so he can see that.
You want to trust me to pick this laptop?
You don't need to pick it up, just
and turn it and rotate it.
Yeah,
with the amount of
that building over there.
Tell me when you don't drink a lot.
This is a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least he didn't spill the beer
I don't
on the laptop because that's happened before too.
There was an episode where I poured an entire drink on the laptop.
Yeah.
So one of the owners of Pax Verum, Jason Watson, has a company that does landscaping. So that their beer garden there, that's all Jason Watson stuff.
It is very nice.
Yeah.
The indoors is so nice too. Like the first time I ever went in there, I was like, this is like one of the fanciest indoor tap rooms I've ever been in.
Well, so you never made the Blackacre, but it you make it the old Blackacre, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It felt like the old Blackacre.
Pre-fire.
Yeah. It felt
like nice leather furniture, like
the one at the tap house.
Yeah. Nice wood floors.
Yeah. Well, Blackacres was cement, but some of the similar.
Time out. I'm going to be Jesse for a minute.
What?
It's concrete, you moron.
Yes, thank you.
It's concrete. Maybe
I don't get offended. You're right. I am a moron. I don't know. What did I say?
You said cement.
Well, that would be stupid.
Cement would be an ingredient to make concrete.
Oh, I appreciate that.
It's not. You're standing
on rebar in that.
You're standing on bread, not flour, sir.
That's what they make a swimming pool out of in Beverly Hills.
The cement pond.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, back to your story. I'm done harassing you.
Do you realize that after Blackacre closed, Scarlet Lane took over?
Yeah.
Did a really nice job with the inside of that.
Oh yeah,
closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already gone.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think any of that is, Nick and Elise's fault. I think there's
just stuff going on.
There's stuff going on.
Yeah. But it's unfortunate that it closed.
I think they've still got Beech Grove.
It's still there. Yeah. Beech Grove is still there.
It's just Beech Grove and the mothership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I talked to Nick and I was like, hey man, this sucks. And
yeah.
He's high hopes and they're doubling down on what they've got. So
I am generally not a pre-made cocktail guy. This stuff from High and Mighty is I know I only got a sip before because there was a tragedy. But this is quite good.
I think it'd be really good on a cold day. So if it's cold out,
heat that up, put it in a little cup.
Well, see, I wouldn't heat it up. I'd put it on ice, but I think that to me, there's like a touch of sweetness that I want to cut. And that would, the ice would help dilute it just a hair.
Yeah.
I think the cinnamon.
But I think it's very, very good.
There's a place called Perry Vine out of South Bend that come to a lot of our festivals. They're actually having their 1 year anniversary this weekend. So they are in March. So they won't be at Newcastle, but last weekend at Shelf Ice Brewfest, they did a hot chocolate mead.
Yeah.
Ooh, that.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Where was this at?
That was in Michigan City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like available to buy or was it just for the event?
No, just at the event.
That sucks.
But they sell a decent amount of bottles now. So yeah, it would be nice if they package that. And it was a big enough hit.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, you got 2,200, 2,300 people.
How the hell you would do that?
Jesse, who made the breakfast magpie mead?
New Day.
New Day.
Yeah. That was good.
That was the most spectacular thing I've ever.
Yeah. Then you could do Imperial Breakfast Magpie.
I've got one bottle of Breakfast Magpie left.
Yeah.
Because they're gone, right?
Yeah.
As they are no longer in existence.
No, yeah.
They were at Fountain Square,
they
Indiana.
Sold out. They were, but they got sold out.
Fountain Square.
Fountain Square ended up shutting it down.
Yeah. They, and that's another story. New Day.
The owners of that quit drinking, I think.
Yeah, and moved to Korea for a while.
They did
yeah,
and they've turned into like weird. I don't want to say weird, but they turned into health nuts.
Yeah.
So
her last name was Agnew. His last name was Canaday. So New Day.
So
I did not know that was the reason for that.
There's
that's cool
story behind all of these.
What's Wooden Bears?
What is Wooden Bears?
What is Wooden Bears?
I know it's in my database, but I don't think I know. I can remember that.
I think that the football team are the Bears, the Bearcats or whatever.
Yeah.
So
and they're a little stiff.
Yeah, I would suspect.
They also have all those wood bears all throughout their place.
I think
they do
that's a chicken egg problem.
Yeah, they do a carving. They do a live carving at their anniversary party.
Yeah,
and there's always more every time I go in there. Yeah. So my kids always get into that.
Where my question was starting to go before the peanut gallery interrupted.
It's our show, not yours.
I thought it was the third mic. And the peanut gallery.
It's our show. It's our show, not yours.
Yes, I know.
There's a mutiny, Jeremiah.
I was trying to go back to. I was trying to go back to the one
mic elitism here.
To the one dry sheet of notes that I have left before I ruin these and I forget to ask the question. Mark, you talked about how one of the goals of On Tap is one of the goals. They're whispering behind me. It's not distracting at all. It is to support microbreweries.
No.
Versus the main line, the InBevs of the world. Obviously they all have their own story. A lot of them are family businesses, but they may not be around. Somebody like New Day may not be around 5 years from now. So
Blackacre won't be around.
Yeah, Jesus, Jesse.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to add to it. I'm just trying to add to it. There's a lot of things that have closed. Tow Yard's gone. There's been a
but you need to appreciate them while they're here because things change and the industry changes and there's always something new coming and then there's things that you love that may not be there.
Yeah, last year in the state we had 13 openings and 13 closings.
Yeah.
So this year. So far already, we've had 3 or 4 closings, 1 opening, 2 openings, but we have a lot on the horizon. Unfortunately, right now, I've got more brewers openings than I've got brewers. So putting brewers into breweries has become, it used to be that you'd have, 10 brewers looking for work and 4 breweries that were looking for brewers. Now it's the opposite. So it's a matter of, brewing is a business that you get burned out on.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
And
early hours.
Long hours.
Yeah. And early. Like you have to be up early to start your day.
Why does the mash know what time it is, Jesse?
Well, it's usually because they have their HVAC systems, because they typically, not all of them have air conditioning. So in the summer, they'll get up early while it's not hot, because most of them have glycol chilled, like fermentation tanks. It's like Black Acre, they didn't have air conditioning in their brewing facilities. Yeah. So they would get up at like 4 or 5, start brewing at like 5 or 6, because they don't have to worry about the temperature of the day. Yeah, the heat of the day. And then the tanks are all chilled through glycol. So
I have a second theory on that.
Yeah.
There's enough of these guys who are ex-military.
Yeah.
That they're used to getting
up early.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the Black Acre people.
Yeah. No. They're lawyers. Lawyers
don't want to get up early.
The guys at Aftermath in Terrible Haute, they're all.
Boy, our one listener in Terre Haute is going to be pissed.
Oh, I said it out loud. I've said it for decades.
Oh, you're fine. Everyone knows it smells like dead cat or something there. It doesn't matter.
No, they closed the paper company. So.
I just remember someone said it stank, and I can't remember why.
No, it's just my father-in-law. He'll get over it. It's fine.
But the guys at Aftermath were all Air National Guard.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of these guys who were in the Army. I know one Navy, Crasian Brewing up in Brookston. Tom was in the Navy, but yeah, there's a bunch of them around, and you're right. They do it because they want to avoid the hottest part of the day. Chuck Newt at Creatures of Habit, they'll be here this weekend, or at the event in March. Stunningly good beer. If I'm bring the ESB. I want him to bring the extra special.
The ESB for Wooden Beer was really good too. I'm not trying to take the clout or take the limelight from them, but ESB, that was Rob, my friend Rob White. It was his favorite
sign of taste. It's like if there's a good ESB,
well,
it's unlike anything else. Like I homebrewed for a little bit.
It's one of those beers that you can't hide behind.
Yes, and I made an ESB my first time. Everybody was like, "That's my favorite beer."
We try not to talk jargon on here or acronyms. So, what does an ESB stand for?
ESB, extra special bitters.
Yeah.
But strangely enough, they're not bitter.
They're delicious.
Yeah. They so in England, depending on how much malt you put in the beer, that sort of determines how much sugar you have, therefore how much alcohol you're going to have. But malt is a costly ingredient. So the higher the amount of malt, the more you charge. So there's bitters, there's regular bitters, there's special bitters, there's extra special bitters. So none of them are big beers, but you will get more malt flavor, a little more alcohol out of an ESB.
It's your bigger pubby type of beers where you feel like you're in England and you're drinking like a beer at the pub. But that is one of those things where if you can make a good ESB, that is
it's like making a nice Pilsner.
It's like just threading that needle.
Yeah.
And as a dumbass home brewer as I was, I could make it. I had it for my friends, and I had friends that were like, "This is fantastic." And I was like, "I don't know. This is my first try at it." So I followed the instructions. Really I did what I should.
Yes.
Okay. Because I was going to say the only other one I know, like again, my friend Rob is a huge beer fan, and he would travel all the way to Broad Ripple Brew Pub for the ESB there.
Yes. Also very good.
Yeah. So and then he had me. I've had it there, and I've had an ESB at Wooden Bear, so it'd be nice to try another one. So
Broad Ripple Brew Pub for all those like classic styles like that.
Especially if you're going to get it off of a beer engine.
Yes,
you're going to do a hand pump.
Yes.
So tell us now. We will have at Newcastle on Tap. We will have from homebrewers all the way to what scale?
Well, actually, I try not to look at who's producing the most beer. If I bring beer from like Center Point or one of these places, they're making a few a couple thousand barrels a year. But everybody is a craft brewer. They do this by the book, and they're not making so much beer that you would ever consider them to be even. Well, I don't think anybody.
They don't.
There
Nobody's
are few.
a micro.
There are few. Yeah, there are Three Floyds is really the only brewery in Indiana that you would consider even a regional brewery based on the number of barrels they make,
the volume that they put out.
Yeah. So all of these are almost completely family businesses, or three guys that went to college together. Center Point down in Indianapolis, they're all engineers from Rose-Hulman. So
that explains why they have Center Point thing.
Center Point with the fob. Yeah. So all of these are probably in the low hundreds to maybe 1,000 barrels a year.
I was going to say, I can't remember what the metrics are. I know they try to come up with like the nano brewery term, but like,
completely
I don't
abstract.
Yeah, it's completely abstract. Yeah.
The only one that really fits is you are not craft if you make over 6 million barrels a year.
Yeah.
So now there are a lot of breweries that I don't consider craft that make less than 6 million barrels a year, but it's that's not something you're going to run into at this kind of event.
Yeah.
Even the distilleries, Dragon's Mouth Distillery out of Elkhart is coming to pour at this event. This is their first event ever. So, but they have some really interesting product.
They're out of Elkhart, you said?
Yeah. Elkhart.
That's where What-You-Call-It started too, right? New Day?
No, they started in Elwood.
Elwood, that's right.
Yeah. This is Elkhart.
Madison County versus St. Joseph.
I just remember it was something.
Mishawaka.
L.
Yeah.
I remember L being a part of it.
Yeah.
Up where the campers are made.
Yeah. So so Daniel is bringing down, and I'm hoping that he brings his Japanese whiskey, because that's not only is it a great product, but it's got a gorgeous label.
Now, have you had any Alpsbrow? Brad Klopfenstein's Alpsbrow, because he and Jim Merritt were here. That's made at two Toms up in Fort Wayne, right?
Yeah, they white label that for him. He's owning several of those brands. He just sold one for the Indianapolis Lager, that he sold to Sun King, and they just brought that out. So yeah, Klopfenstein, he's a
longtime friend of the show.
Yeah, president, Indiana Alcohol Commission.
Back in the day, I think he did some stuff there. I think he's now at Lawrence Chamber of Commerce or something.
Yeah,
he's very, very buttoned up now.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I talked to Brad. I wouldn't call it often, but once a month, once every other month. So yeah, we're working on maybe doing something in Fortville.
Need to have him come to this event next year with some Alpsbrow.
Yeah.
In 2025.
Yeah. Two Toms itself has the word isn't contract, is they're having, just like everybody else, they're having staffing issues. So the number of events that they're doing is a little more restrained at this time, but still, yeah, I'll drink an Alpsbrow if I go to Two Toms, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah, Two Toms is killing it still. I mean, like they have so many good beers. And
where is Two Toms? I have no idea.
Fort Wayne.
Okay,
they're out of Fort Wayne.
I've only been to Fort Wayne once in my life.
Yeah, they have a tap room in
Lawrence,
Fishers.
Okay.
Well, it's 96th Street, so technically, it's Indianapolis, but on the other side of the street is Fishers.
Carmel, Fishers.
Yeah,
they make good stuff.
Yeah, so we're going up there this weekend. Mm-hmm. So the Frozen Firkenfest is Saturday, day after tomorrow, at their Fort Wayne location, and it's all one-off beers. So they bring in 15, 18 breweries that will make a beer that you'll never be able to get anywhere else.
I mean, I feel like that's probably where like these events eventually need to go.
They're getting more and more niche.
Yeah, they need to. Because
St. Patty's Day.
Yeah,
that's fairly
that's
niche.
different. Yeah. But I was saying, like you're saying, the staffing issues. A lot of breweries are pulling back from them. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I think you should double down because like it's a marketing event, but also just the culture of drinking is changing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are going to spirits or the reverse. They're just not drinking.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge, pullback from drinking beer and just not drinking or doing non-alcoholics. Is there going to be any non-alcoholic anything there by chance?
There probably should be a couple if
Coffee.
not, yeah.
The press.
Yeah,
well,
the press will be there,
non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah, probably
or
2 or 3
mocktail.
non-alcoholic beers.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll be doing the seltzers.
Yeah.
And then there are several events, not this one, not Newcastle, but that we bring in a kombucha maker.
Okay.
So I think that's
not Circle, right? But like some.
No. I mean
craft. Okay.
Yeah, Circle's kind of big.
Well, I mean, I don't know how you define craft kombucha.
Yeah,
I think they're probably still craft.
Yeah. No, there's 4 small places in Indiana that do really nice kombucha. 5. Fresh Firm out of Terre Haute. I said it right.
So those, sorry, I'm going to take you on a wild ride real quick.
That's what I signed up for.
There's a couple things, right? Indiana Tap. What are you, so you're trying to help breweries and this, so kombucha falls under these too, because it's fermented
craft beverage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that's under your guys' purview.
Yeah. That's why I've got 2 tea makers that we do work with. Anything that is craft beverage, we don't have
not sauerkraut juice.
Yeah.
Although that might become a thing. Who knows?
Yeah. There's a guy, used to be the head brewer at Upland, who is working on bringing in a craft vinegars.
Yeah, so, that's not surprising. So I know why that's not surprising. I was up in Michigan, and this was in Holland, I believe, and there is an entire store dedicated to vinegar.
Yeah,
and I was like, "What in the hell?"
Yeah, that's about 2 blocks from New Holland Brewery.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly where it is. Yeah, it's exactly where it is, down the street. And I was like, "What?" And I was like, and I like vinegar, so I was like, "I'm kind of interested, especially in the malt kind. Let's go." But I didn't go inside, but. That's not surprising. And that's cool though. Like that's really dope.
No, anybody who's going to, this is an artisan product. These are artisan products. And, it's our job to make sure that they succeed.
Yeah.
So whatever we have to do, whether it's writing their stories on the website, whether it's organizing and bringing them into festivals, we have something called the Tasting Society Marketplace, which is a partner and member program. People buy a membership, they get discounts at about 150 breweries, wineries, distilleries across the state. We have our own ticketing platform. So about 85% of the craft beverage events across the state use our ticketing platform, and completely free to use. They get free marketing with it. So that's one of the reasons.
It goes up on your website and it creates a network of. As
soon as we put it on our calendar, it auto populates into 13 other Central Indiana event calendars. And they get, for organizers out there, they get free marketing with it. And after the event, they get what we call the marketing intelligence report, which breaks down every metric of their ticket buyers and makes them a much better marketer of their next event. We've got several streams by which we help out. We've even got a party bus of our own called Ale Force One. Yeah, that people can rent, and he will drive them wherever they want to go.
This is available for my birthday.
Oh yeah,
can I do this?
Yeah. Well, when's your birthday, Sean?
May 3rd.
There's
do you have any?
Right before the mini.
There's taps inside if you bring your beer. There's taps outside. It's fully Bluetooth, so there's a huge karaoke system inside. Seats 14.
Say less,
Sean. I'm in.
Less.
I don't know if I'm invited to your birthday.
You're not invited.
I'm coming to your birthday party.
You might be.
Yeah. So if you want to go up and try out anything in Fort Wayne, you want to go to Michigan. You just work it out with the bus driver.
Recreationally, bring your
All right.
cash
Yeah.
to Michigan,
No,
stop at the
no,
state
like
line.
it.
So I have
like
a question for you then, Mark. Do you guys have, so as a connoisseur of beer, and I don't get to India as often, so like I'm not able to keep in tune with what's going on the streets of the craft brew scene. Do you guys have a newsletter that you also release, or is it just the website?
Website is where we do pretty much everything. You can sign up for our email list.
Yeah.
And then you'll get pretty much, news on all the events that are coming down.
Yeah. I just, even if it was
Yeah.
your blog post, if you just email them to me so I could see them. But
If you could please curate your website and send it to me on a semi-regular
No,
basis,
I
just
mean,
personally.
no, I would just say,
Jesse at jesseriddle.com.
I will
That would be
forget to
great.
go there, and I'm like, it would be nice
Yeah.
if I could.
Well, it's indianaontap.com.
Yeah.
And the front page is the news.
Yeah.
And then you can delve into it deeper. The calendar page, the Tasting Society Market page gives you, the logos and clickable logos of all the partners. You can see what their offers are for people who are members of the Tasting Society Market.
Have you, you've been to Cosmetic, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I've met you at Cosmetic.
Well,
So now that we've hung out for a minute, I'm like, man, this guy looks super familiar.
yeah.
And I think you and I were at Cosmetic at the same time.
You remember when you were in the Beatles?
Yeah.
That was really cool, man.
Hey, I feel like Cosmetic is still like it's a hidden gem still.
Just right
Well,
over his head.
they
It's
don't move outside very much.
No, they do not.
Yeah, they are in and of themselves.
Well, they don't have a lot to move, right? It's just Nicole and Ryan. So
yeah.
Jesse, I am desperate to get this
you
last
realize
item in
that-
the notes in at some point here.
He's trying to get it in.
Here we go. Ready?
what? Oh, you need to close out.
Oh, I need to say, hey, Mark.
Yeah.
You guys always do a charitable function in a partnership with the community.
All of our
And I
festivals have a charitable.
wanted to know about Newcastle and who you're working with, what the benefit is to this with this one, and what group you're with.
We do not make that choice.
Yeah.
So we take a percentage of the profits, and Newcastle Main Street will decide where that check goes.
Okay.
It's not always the same. So yeah, whatever they decide on this year, that's where the check.
So
will
that
go.
organization is going to
Mhm.
be directing it. So a
Yeah.
portion of the proceeds are going to go to Newcastle Main Street,
Yeah.
and then it will be directed towards a local charity.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Happens with every one of our events. Actually, Hops and Coaster Drops is a little bit bigger, so it's considerably more that goes to a charity of Indiana beaches. That did I talk about Hops and Coaster Drops?
Not yet.
Oh,
Okay. Early September 7th this year. Last year I had 105 alcohol vendors at Indiana Beach Amusement Park with the rides on. They leave the rides on for 5 hours after the event. Bring in a huge band out of Chicago. There's camping. So yeah, 6, they've got all the rides on. So there's 6 roller coasters, and you do unlimited sampling while you ride the rides.
What could possibly go wrong?
how many janitors do they have?
Yeah, we thought the
Definitely
first
want to get
year,
a front row seat in the roller coasters,
Yeah.
not the back. Don't want to be in the back.
We're coming up to year 4, and the first year we thought, are we going to hand out logoed ponchos with this? Or, yeah,
I would have
but
just.
just Gordon Fisherman
Yeah.
gear for the back row.
yeah, but it's been much better than we now.
have been issues.
Yeah, Indiana Beach calls them code greens.
Yeah, funny. That's hilarious.
Each year we have about 2 code greens, but most of the time it's 3 or 4 hours after the event.
Yeah.
So that is, well, that event is the bane of my existence. Just trying to get 105,
That's 5 to 6
Alcohol-
times the scale of
Yeah.
what you're looking at doing
yeah.
here.
So that one is a lot of fun, but it's hard for me. Loggers in Lawrence Oktoberfest, September 21st this year at the Fort Bend Cultural Campus in Lawrence.
Mhm.
My favorite event by far. We'll have 40 to 45 alcohol vendors, German dancing, German music, German food. Last year we had 45 wiener dogs.
No German propaganda, though.
No,
Okay, good.
Is that what the Wiener Dog racing was?
Wiener Dog. We had
Yeah.
45 Wiener Dogs in the Wiener Dog races last year.
Awesome.
Yeah. And people, apparently you can't own one Wiener Dog.
No, I feel like
You have to buy
you
them
gotta have 2 or 3.
packs, like the hot dogs.
Yeah.
So
you never have
we
enough
had,
blankets.
we had somebody bring one of their Wiener Dogs to race, but they brought their other 10 Wiener Dogs to watch.
For companionship.
Yeah. So there must have been 100, 120.
I said my friend brought theirs. I think she was like her dog's in a like a wheelchair or whatever. Like, so
Would you consider
a lot of
that?
back problems.
Differently abled.
Has a great prospect.
We have a different division for them.
yeah,
I will say that Zach and myself and Dakota will actually be in attendance at the big Newcastle on Tap. We're going to do the roving podcast. So Mark was nice enough to invite us to participate. And he's like, "Do you want a booth?" And we're like, "We want to go talk to
be the people.
We are.
You be the man on the street.
We really do enjoy the man on the street side. So I don't know how
That's
long.
the best place to get it.
I don't know how long the sloppiness is going to go, but I promise that you're going to have some unlistenable audio, and it's going to be a great ride for you.
So can
check
you
it out?
do you know the guy that's online that's always like, "Who's the vice president right now?" I mean, and everyone's like, and they say, and he goes, "Yes." He just no whatever what they say, he just goes, "Yes."
This is.
Can you do that? Be like, "Who's the mayor of Newcastle?" Like, yeah, I don't know. You're like, "Yes."
We may find ourselves walking up to Greg York asking who the mayor of Newcastle is, and by the end of the night, he may not know. Who it is.
That would be perfect. Please get that on tape.
Yeah.
He loves to dance at the event. Yeah.
True stories.
He's a
True
big
stories.
Dancer. Yeah.
He was modeling today his eclipse glasses live on the internet. He's a good he was doing his ambassadorship. All right.
Well, I hope he wears them to the event.
It's
Just
eclipse,
as a fashion.
it's another eclipse practice event.
Yeah.
Sean, I think it's time in the show that we start to wrap up and we get into our final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
And you give us the pitch.
It is a travesty with the Supreme Court. I'm just not going to deal with that.
If we get ourselves in trouble, who's our first phone call? Who are we supposed to call in case we got ourselves in a little bit of trouble?
So the first thing you do at any Indiana on Tapped event is you make sure you have a designated driver and you have a sober ride home. Do not drive home. If you are arrested for operating a vehicle while intoxicated in Henry County, state of Indiana, you call me at Galleon Rattle Office, 765-529-3787, and I will help you. I will.
In that, say Boss Hog, you get 5% off.
If you say Boss Hog, in my voicemail, you get 5% off of the retainer fee. Gives you a smidge off. No, but really though, like
Coupon code Boss Hog.
This fantastic organization. I've been to your events in Anderson. I've been to your events in Newcastle, and it is always a great time. It's well organized. It's very orderly. I've never had any. You think about a beer festival, people getting out of control or whatever, but like I've never dealt with anybody that's unruly or whatever, and it's been such a awesome time to go to those events. So I would really encourage everybody to engage in those events, get a safe ride home, but have a great time. Like it's an awesome time. Like there is so much to explore, and there's going to be so many more things this year compared to last year, and so many more things in the future, hopefully. Mm-hmm. So I can't say enough about like how much fun this event is. So kudos. I've been a customer of yours for many times, even before you came here to Newcastle, because we would go to Anderson, it would be in the middle of summer, and it would be like, oh, it's so hot. I wish they came to Newcastle. It's like, oh, it's Newcastle. Unfortunately, it came in a polar vortex. It's so cold. You can't choose the weather in Indiana. Like it's just the way it is. But you guys put on a fantastic event, and I cannot, as someone who's a beer connoisseur, as somebody who enjoys the product, like you cannot beat this. Like this is it.
It's a pretty good value.
Yeah. You cannot beat the value,
and it's a better value today if you buy it online before you buy it at the gate.
Yeah,
So if you're interested, put it on your calendar, big boy, commit to it, say, yes, I'm coming, and buy your tickets. But they will take your money at the gate too. And I think $20 for the DD is a hell of a value as well.
Yep. Especially with all the coffee and teas and things like that. So.
Oh yeah. It's just don't buy a DD ticket thinking that you're going to scam me out of a cup. It happens.
Who would dare do such a thing? You guys, this listening audience is better than that. Zach, final thoughts?
Not much. The Greg Hahn comedy show last weekend was nice. Downtown was jumping. Like,
another Newcastle Main Street event.
Yeah, Primo was busy, and
the program was all about this event.
Yeah,
it was definitely cross promoted.
Yeah, and then that was the first time in the castle since I've heard. I thought that I heard that they did more changes than were actually done, which is actually good. The theater's in a good spot and it's in good shape in there. So that was a cool event. And this sounds like a cool event. And the weather at this point is the lottery roll. Let's go with it because we have been all over the place. So chances are
I'm going 68 and sunny. It's going to be spectacular.
For the eclipse?
For Newcastle on Tap.
Oh, Newcastle on Tap. What is the day?
March 16th.
March 16th.
So 2 weeks from Saturday.
The comedy that was here last weekend, has a ticketed event?
Yeah, yes, it was.
It was a ticketed event. It was a ticketed event. You may need to do some connections.
Yeah, I think maybe.
And maybe for their next there were already chatter of there being a round 2, another comedy event. So I think it could happen.
H.J. Ricks in Greenfield. Yeah, they use us for all their ticketing now.
Nice.
So yeah.
Tony's a good guy. You work with Tony?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haywood Banks was there a couple of weekends ago, 3 weeks ago, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. They've done a lot of, I don't know if the castle's talking to them, but the H.J. Rick Center has also done a ton of renovations recently. They just got new seats and they had a seat company come in and make it so that pretty much there's not a bad seat in the house now.
Yeah, we did a nice seating chart for them. So now you can actually buy individual seats on our website for that.
You know exactly where you're going to land. Yeah. Anything else, Zachary?
No.
How many days running in a row are we?
Oh, I have to look. Today hurt. They all hurt though at this point.
For the listening audience, Zach has run at least a mile a day for how many days in a row?
I'm waiting for my little app to tell me.
788 days in a row. So by the time we get to Newcastle on Tap, you will theoretically have crossed over 800 days.
Yeah.
Your poor knees. And
my right knee really hurts.
Yeah. I think maybe you earned it.
I bet. Running's bad for your joints.
It might be 789. I don't think it's actually
pretty much every doctor will tell you that.
You think one beer is going to ruin that?
He just doesn't like it.
Yeah, I joke for the people that know my brother that I'm saving half my liver for my twin brother. And the people even though we're not identical, so I don't think it really works that way. But the people that know us are like, dude, that's really nice of you because my brother.
He's definitely going to need it by the time he's 50.
My brother is as much of an aficionado of beer as I am of not drinking anything. So
my liver can beat up your liver.
I don't doubt. My liver doesn't know any. It's lived a very pampered life.
Your liver hasn't even started working.
No, it's probably dormant at this point.
As long as he doesn't take Tylenol, he's fine.
Yeah.
If he crushes Tylenol every night, it's probably just as bad.
Mark, this has been fantastic. We're glad you're here.
Thanks for having me.
We're excited to be a part of the event in whatever way that is, and hopefully we don't bother your guests. Or your vendors too horribly much with our
bother the guests
with our shenanigans.
Don't bother the vendors.
Yeah, no, people will love talking to you guys.
Oh yeah,
and the vendors as well will love. I mean, it's just another way of getting their story out, and you guys will get to meet the Two Bearded Guys, another podcast that'll be there. Then, I think maybe you guys could learn a thing or two because they sell merch.
Oh, we do have some merch.
Oh, this is good.
We do have some merch.
Make sure to bring it.
If folks want to check it out, it's on demand. You can jump on the website. We got old Audrey Davis has got it on ready to go. We got merch, we got stickers, we got all the stuff. But
it's all on demand though.
It's not ready to go.
It's not in hand. I ran into the Two Bearded Guys at Wooden Bear, so.
Oh, so you were there that night?
Yeah.
We may have met then too.
We may have met then.
Yeah.
Jesse, do you remember when you were in the Beatles? Jesse Riddle.
Wasn't old enough, so I don't have to worry about trying to remember that one.
What are you selling? What are you pitching?
Not pitching anything.
You've got it. No.
So,
you got to work. I'm
not pitching anything related to this.
All right.
I am a self-employed human being. And
gotta
if
eat.
you, your mother, your grandmother, your father, your escort, anyone needs
an escort
IT support or any sort of business technology needs,
I thought he was the escort.
please do what? For the right price.
He's a businessman.
Call me for a quote. But anyways, yeah, you can reach out to me. Just go to www.bit, M as in Mary, V as in Victor, R as in Roger.com. Again, that's bitmvr.com. One more time, bitmvr.com.
Do I have to do the HTTPS or HTTP?
No, it will all redirect
colon
as it should.
/
It just
www.
I'm a tech guy. It does what it's supposed to do.
Okay.
It'll redirect to the secure page. It's fine.
That was what, BITEME?
Damn it. Bitemore.net.
Bitmover. BITMVR.
And if you're listening,
Mercifully, Zach Burcham has put it in the Facebook
and if you're
chat.
listening to the podcast, if you jump in, find the video on Facebook. I have links to the tickets website for Newcastle on Tapped. I linked Indiana on Tapped's overall website, and then I just managed to decipher through his mentioning it 17 times.
That's a real producer right there.
Was.
Yeah.
That's a real producer.
I'm just trying to be feel like we're on the radio and they repeat stuff 1,000 times.
Yeah, there's God forbid somebody uses the rewind button. My laptop has just said it's done for the night.
It sounds like you need IT support.
That is
bitmvr.com.
Can you log on? No, your laptop's out.
It's flashing and it's angry.
You can text me. You can just write me a snail mail. I'll accept
There's
it.
nothing but trouble ahead. Well, that's concerning. The laptop has yeeted itself. I didn't even spill anything on it tonight. Final thoughts from me. This is the last episode before we get into the world-renowned Ball Soccer Liberty Candidate Series. It starts next Thursday. Our plan is going to be to have invited every candidate that's on the local ballot to come through here that's in Henry County, and we're gonna talk to a ton of people. Special sponsorship is in place for that. Brand new business, Ink and Ale, is going to be a sponsor, so each and every one of those episodes is going to be sponsored by Ink and Ale and Wyland's Flowers here in town. So if you see them, if you get to support them, if you get to meet up with them, thank them for helping bring that together. And we will be here next week, starting the candidate series. With that, we thank Mark, Sean, Devin, Zach, and yes, we'll even thank Jesse.
Thank you.
Next week, mercifully, Dakota Davis will be back. I hope you enjoyed your one Leap Day Thursday night episode of Boss Hog that's ever going to exist.
I was going to say, I'm glad you guys, this was it.
This was as precious as an eclipse.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.